Hello and welcome. I'm running this race on 25% bonus fame day. This is a ultra rare car. It is the Bugatti Voiture Noire Cuivre. I'm doing my best. Basically, black car copper. So it's a custom vinyl I did. I'm going to hire the manager and the agent on top of the 25% bonus fame. And my target is 100 kilometers. And I want to see what are the earnings like if I do that. What are the earnings per minute? Now, do a review of this race. I wasn't going to test this at first, but ooh, that's really sloppy right off the start. Well, of course, we're going to dial that in. It's a really fast car, but you got to get used to some of these corners. Lap 1 and 2 are always a bit of a toss-up because it's just the cars are in your way so much. So you want to make your way through traffic fast, but you really don't want to get tangled up. Now, you might be wondering why I didn't take that big cut. I did a test quite a while back where I did two versions of a race, and I actually show them both at the same time. This cut I will take, it's the only one I'm going to take. Love the jump, but more on that later. So what I found is that staying on track here does definitely earn you more fame per minute. It is definitely worth your while. It's such a major cut, and it's also a really sharp turn. And so what happens is you have to slow down quite a lot to take that corner, coming up again here. And that's the problem. Oh, look at that. You got to be careful of those ghost kamikaze bots. If you pass the bots just as they're about to get on the brakes, they just go nuts. So you got to be careful. Oh, a little bit off track there. Don't want to do that. As you can see, I didn't do a whole lot of practice testing. I'm going to hone this in pretty quick here. But obviously, the less mistakes you make, the more currency you're earning. Because I was going off track and I was slow. Like when I'm taking these cuts here, I'm trying to go fast. Now, I want you to notice that I'm on the brakes as soon as I'm in the air. And then you got to be careful of the ghost spots that are disappearing because you pass one as you're heading up that hill. And if you take that jump full throttle and land that way, you're going to go flying off track. It's going to waste some time. Now, already we've warped ahead because, like I said, it's a longer race. So I wanted to warp ahead to where we're going to encounter where I'm encountering the perpetual point. You can see there's a big gap of cars. So that's what happens near the end of every endurance race, right? You start running out of cars. So then we're going to see what happens. This will be a little more obvious than some of my other videos. Because I've said in some videos that if you're too slow hitting the perpetual point, the cars can be quite spaced out. So you're going to see that they're actually not that spaced out this time around. And then you watch as it gets closer. See, there's a nice grouping. See, look at that. Quite a grouping of cars. Ooh, that was really bad. I took that jump a little too aggressively. Got to be very careful of those ghost bots. Takes 5 seconds for a bot to disappear once you pass him. So if you're in a braking zone, they could easily overtake you. And in the old days, bots used to always get boosted every time you pass them. And well, in the really old days, they just nicely disappeared. Then things got glitchy when Formula 1 content first entered the game because they had to alter bot behavior a little bit. And it took a couple of years to finally get it back to this. Oh, I didn't want to get on track too fast because I didn't want to slide out. Anyhow, it took a while to get to this, which I think is the best we've seen in a long time. They did a whole bunch of different things. For a while, they made it so bots went from full speed to absolute zero and you passed them and they just vanished. It literally looked like they were getting sucked out from you. I've got a funny video on that I'll put up here. I called it Ghost Traps because it was almost like Ghostbusters where the car got just sucked up. It's really funny. Let's warp ahead some more and I can do more illustrations of what this is like. Also, I'm going to do one full lap in driver view, which is interesting in this car. I do not use driver view very often. I find it frustrating. I certainly have respect for people who use it. Most of my gaming life, I'm a little old school, so old school games were almost always chase view like this behind the car. So it's just what I'm used to. With some practice, I could do driver view pretty well. Bonnet view is the better because you don't have anything in the way of your visibility. Bonnet view really helps you to maximize those corners. Now we're going to do a freeze. I'm going to do a big jump here. Do a little freeze frame. Check this out. That's a big jump. Oh my. And then I'm on the brakes late. Really don't want to hit that guy with my front end. Rear end damage is always preferable over front end damage. Front end damage, you're going to crack your windshield, and that's your indication that you just lost top speed, acceleration, grip, and brakes. All of it. Depending on the car, it will vary. So in Formula One cars, you won't notice the loss of speed very much, but I noticed the loss of grip. So some cars exhibit it more in grip, some cars exhibit it more in speed, etc., etc. Same with brakes, There's just all sorts of different ways that you will feel the effects. And if it's a regular farming car, you really want to take note of that. So for instance, if I'm racing at Spa in a Formula One car, I really need to know when I've lost some of my grip. So I take Eau Rouge differently. Or even Bruxelles, because that can get you into some huge trouble. Bruxelles not so much, but corner one actually is probably the biggest danger at Spa. You mess that corner up and you lose a lot. Okay, as promised, full driver view lap. Now, here's what I don't get. My side view mirror makes sense. My rear view mirror, there we go, that made sense. When you're going slower, it's just showing you the ground. It's kind of weird. And the roof, comes down really far. I guess that's probably to block the sun. That section that comes down really low in the windshield. But man, you've got very little to work with here, and I'm just, obviously I'm not doing the greatest. But still, I promised I'd do a full lap. Oh my, what's it going to be like to take a jump on this with this viewpoint? I wonder if we're just going to see ground for a little bit. Okay, well, decent setup for a jump. Let's do a jump. Oh, did I hit him? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. No, if I hit him, I would have had a cracked windshield, so we're good. Okay, so I will switch back pretty soon after I cross the line here, and then we're going to warp ahead some more. That wasn't too shabby. In a monster of a car, there's only one of these cars in the world, and it's definitely not my copper version, but yeah. So if you want to know the secret to how you get this kind of muted copper look, you put on copper metallic paint and then put a black vinyl over top of it. Interesting that the metallic paints will bleed through the vinyls a little bit. Copper bleeds through a lot. So I actually like this look. Copper is pretty bright, but this copper black, I like it. So I've used this on a couple of cars now, and maybe I shouldn't give away my secret, but there you go. That's the secret to how you get the Bugatti Voiture Noire Couvre. Boy, guys, my French sucks. I'll just be honest with you. My French is not very good. I'm doing my best. But yeah, black copper. I mean, it sounds so impressive when you say it in French, but it's just, yeah, black car. So there we go. Okay, we're getting pretty far up here now. We're going to be getting near the end of this. We're going to do a freeze frame right at 100 kilometers. And then what I do is I won't show you this, but I turn around and go back to end it at exactly 100 kilometers. But I clock this from green light to here is where I clock it. Actual race time is 27 minutes, 19 seconds. We need that to get to all the numbers. I'll show you the numbers with the agent and 25% bonus fame and without. Our dollars with manager and without. This might be the highest paying race for the Bugatti Voiture Noire, but it might not. Still doing some more testing, but please please subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. Check out some other videos. Bugatti Devo pays great, and see you out there on the track.